Not that you care, but I'm Ronnie West,
I'm Zach Bobick.
and welcome to our podcast. This is Not That You Care. Originally, this was written for, I had originally thought of writing this for my newly to be born son, but then I realized that the title could be affected towards everybody. Essentially, this podcast is more or less a audio diary to our children. So obviously, the title says it all. I don't care what you think as far as what our podcast is.
Right.
This is just our take on it. And it's us talking to our kids 20 years in the future. And hopefully with some sort of tidbits that'll help them along the way. So I start with my first question. Zach, how are you doing? And what made you want to join in and do this podcast with me?
Well, first, Ronnie, good to catch up with you. It's been a minute. Kind of how it goes. The older you get, the further your friends kind of drift away. So it's good to be back together. And I think really that kind of hits the nail on the head on why I'm doing this. It's a chance to catch up. We were really close going through our high school and like college years, and then kind of life happened. The post college life happened, and you drift away for a while. But bringing it back and just kind of catch up
and especially too, it's the drifting, and then also like becoming a parent. You also realize like how fast time is moving, and then you also want to reconnect and like, oh man, I remember when he was young. I wish I could share the stories and kind of that whole deal. So I think hopefully we can kind of share our own stories, share our memories. Hopefully we can share some insights and help some people, as well as having some fun. And for me also, whenever I started writing out a lot of this stuff, when I was going back trying to remember things, that when you write it all out, for me, I started remembering different stories. And so one of the things I'm most excited about is to hear your version of how you viewed me in a way that I didn't know what was going on. So to me, that's interesting. And as well as whatever guests that we bring along the way as well, to kind of fill in the story of both of our lives, I think is fun, exciting. And for a lot of you too, I think, and Zach, we've already talked about this. This will not be a 24 Jack Bauer podcast, unfortunately.
As much as we really want it to be, we really want it to be that
big, then we will have a spinoff. But this is
it.
not a 24 podcast. To my mom and to everybody else that's worried that this is going to turn into that. So
we can't make any promises. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right, so we'll put a pin in that, and we will start with our first segment, which I'm kind of excited to get into, flashbacks. So I wanted to take our journey back to where our particular lives began to entwine. And that was at Fridley High School. And for me, when we were in the same vicinity as far as we're aware of, would have been September 3rd, 1996, at Fridley High School. Zach, what do you remember about your first day of freshman year?
Oh my, like it's fun. Like you said, it's 20 plus years since we 24, almost 24 years since we've started high school. 25, if that date's right. And so like kind of looking back, I remember, I thought there's so many, like I can't just narrow it into like one little thing. Like I remember exactly.
Do you remember waking up? Like
nope.
The first day? No.
Nope. I remember like what I wore from the waist up, because it was legit in my mind the coolest thing in the whole wide world. I wore scrubs. I wore a scrub shirt, like baby blue doctor shirt, and had my hair slicked forward, like crusty hairspray gel, everything like straightforward, really short, going for the George Clooney look from ER was kind of what I was hitting. I thought I was the shit. I thought it was so cool. And I walked into my first class was Spanish with, I don't even remember her, Boosacker. She was my teacher. It's weird what kind of pops back into your head.
Yeah.
But I had Spanish first hour, and going from that class was kind of a blur. But then moving into second hour, there was someone that like came up to me and goes, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, "Oh shit." And I was just like, well, I guess I made a bad choice for this today, but I remember it, and so that's just kind of like that's my biggest memory from the first day of high school.
Yeah, I remember the big pep fest in the football field.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's kind of the extent of the only thing I remember from the first day. Like I know my classes, I had Mrs. Bolin for English
mm-hmm.
and art my first 2 hours because we had that 4 period day, which like
Yep.
started that year, which was actually I thought really cool. Like it worked out. You actually had time to do homework. You didn't feel rushed, and you only if you did have homework, it was only from 4 classes. So,
Yeah.
hey, Fridley High School administrators, I appreciated the 4 period day, or you are one, so you can go and tell whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was more since I was a new kid. You at least you went to Immaculate. I think that
Yep.
was one of the things we want to touch on. Like you kind of knew some kids going in. I was from Anoka, and kind of came down. I moved down, I think, in May, and my
Mm-hmm.
dad drove me to Anoka to finish out my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
And then I started freshman year brand new fresh. So I didn't know anybody.
Yeah. I knew like 5 or 6 people came from my elementary school and middle school to the high school. This is the wife. Say hey.
Hello, Bree.
Hey, how's it going?
Special guest.
What is happening to that baby? Why is its eyes open?
I don't know. He's just chilling. He learned a new trick.
How long has he been awake?
Like 12 minutes.
Fun.
Roughly.
That's actually fun.
Yeah.
He's learning. He wants to join the show.
He's
our first listener.
He's our first official subscriber to the podcast.
Do you like for me the Pet Fest? I kind of got sucked into what because at least I had some experience being the new kid. I was a new kid in middle school. I was the new kid in 2nd grade, so we had moved a few times, so I was at least knew the drill. Like, okay, I know who to look for, like what to kind of see, and as I assumed, it was more the shady people kind of approached the new kid at the start, and just that's kind of who I hung out with in the group. I couldn't remember or tell you who they were at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, because then I remember first day of lunch, I had to take up kids' trays just to sit at their table. And so it was kind of like that. I was like, I knew I was going to deal with it and kind of like, whatever, I'll just kind of take the trays. Like, if that's the worst thing I
the little hazing.
Yeah. If that's my hazing, I'll take the trays. So
good. I do remember that Pep Fest or whatever outside the picnic lunch. I remember playing Frisbee, and I remember hitting a kid in the face from like 40 yards away. And that's how I met Ben, our buddy Ben. That's how I met him. And like hit him right under the nose. And that friendship was born from there. But just kind of going through the first day, coming from immaculate small Catholic school, everybody's wearing uniforms, to public high school. I just remember girls, like actual girls, like in real life clothes, and I had no idea. Like, you got your 14-year-old brain going through 14, like, whoa, just my head was just whiplash all day long. And I just kind of, at that time, I think we were playing football. So the people that I met, besides the kids for middle school, were on the football team. You played football freshman year, didn't you?
I did. The only thing was, I think you guys started, like, my dad was so against me playing football. He was an all-state running back. And like to this day, he'll still be like, all my aches and pains are from football. Like, so I'm not going to let you. And I had badgered him like I think I played flag football in 7th grade and was pretty good. And then he finally relented and said I could play freshman year, but it was probably like a week after school had already started when he had said yes. And you guys had already started like 2 weeks before school. So I was like 3 weeks late. And I just remember it was the first time I remember seeing you was you were one of the receivers coming over to me, and tall kid, like tall, lanky kid. Granted, I'm the short, skinny kid, so you kind of look like a giant. But I just remember like, all right, Ronnie, you're going to go over and be wide receiver. And I remember it was you, Lindahl, and Sorella. Like, all of you are over 6 foot. And I'm like 5'8". I'm like, okay, no one's going to ever throw me the ball.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to sit and block. But yeah, so that was, I wish I could have come out when I wanted to and play, and then actually probably play running back.
Yeah.
And who knows what would happen. So maybe he intentionally did that to kind of have me start late. So
yeah. Football. That could be a whole nother.
well, yeah, that was supposed to be the next episode, but as far as like the first day in the beginning of school, I really don't remember much else aside from anything significant, aside from really get to know Miss Bolin, because I was with her for the first 2 hours in English and art. So
no, I have to make sure to remind you here that I am on a time limit
that's fine.
from the missus.
I see you have your you actually literally have a timer going. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, there's time. We're keeping.
Have you told Ronnie my brilliant idea?
that he said you're gonna have your own spin-off.
Yeah.
Oh, my own spin-off.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, no. I just want to ride your coattails. No.
No, I had already thought of a new one because with me and Bree, I don't think we don't know the same subjects. So I was thinking the title would be "Excuse Me, What?" And so and so we would each tell each other stories of what's going on and just question the heck out of each other. Like, excuse me,
Ronnie,
what did you
that's
say?
brilliant. Okay, I just
That's what I get paid to do.
Just excuse me.
Say hi to the people.
Hello, the people. Legitimately, that is the most brilliant idea you've ever had. Out of all of these really cool things you're cooking up right now, that one.
Is it because it includes you?
Yeah, primarily, but then also.
That's fine. It's to me, this is, I want to do stuff that's fun. And if like I was going to say, and we're going to keep all this, if Pepsi wants to be a sponsor, I would be more than willing. Pepsi can be a sponsor.
Pepsi can, and then Nursing Queen maternity sweatshirts can also.
There you go.
Just right here, I'm representing. I think that is so great because I could talk about anything.
It's true.
Anything, but also I know a very tiny amount about a lot of shit.
That's the same with me. So I think we would fill in the gaps for each other, and I think that's why I was thinking of that title at the FedEx drop ship today on lunch when I was dropping out boxes. I was like, that's the title. That's what I would do.
What? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm gonna not keep you because you've got your timer going here, but I still want to know why the baby is broken because it just.
He's supposed to be asleep.
He's
He probably
supposed
repooped himself.
Awesome. Okay, well, this was fun. I love this plan for our future. It's gonna be great. And as long as I don't have to listen to myself talk, like repeat it back to myself, then I'll be good.
Well, how we
My
have
job.
we have to get listens, so we literally have to play it over and over and over again.
But
so,
do I have to listen to myself? Because
Yeah.
I hate my voice.
we're gonna need your help.
You just mute it and then just tap to the end, and then it counts as a play.
Oh, I can do that.
Jackpot.
I can do that. I'm going to start researching subjects right away.
You saw my detail. I'll get to work on yours, Bree.
Excellent.
She's doing her happy dance right now. Oh, it's a sloopy swish. Oh man. But
that's flashbacks right there,
flashbacks.
gentlemen. Man,
Searching for a transition sound. Sipa, sipa, sipa.
Or my burp.
Oh, yes. Transitions with belches.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
We'll see. Next time.
Next.
All right. So our next segment, which I think is hopefully going to be our most educational. I feel like I'm always trying to get into this microphone. So I thought of this next segment. It's kind of to be, if I had a guide to teach the 18-year-old version of myself who was maxing out credit cards, living out of his car, and just didn't know what to do at 18 when he moved out. So I want to help people who either just don't know. I know there's a lot of millennials who are either stuck at home and just don't know what to do to get out of the house and kind of move forward with your life. just because you're kind of stuck and you just don't even know where to start. So this next segment, uh, what I know now, but I wish I knew then, we'll kind of break down a few points and kind of try to work through a lot of different subjects, whether it's working through getting a rental, working through just a regular budget. There'll one of the topics be more or less like side hustles and stuff that we can kind of discuss.
Yeah.
I know both of us we have regular jobs, but then we kind of do stuff on the side as well. And I think that's something that I wish I kind of thought about earlier. And that's kind of one of the things going into this, like I said, to talk to our kids, is I've always kept thinking, hey, if my kid's going to go to school, great. I want him to be a astrophysicist engineer, but I also want him to have a trade. And if he could to do carpentry or be an electrician as well, like to have stuff to fall back on, as well as being a professional golfer and a lawyer. Yes. So I want him to be multifaceted. So this is kind of to help that and to help everybody else out there. So my first question to you, Zach, is what do you wish you knew before you bought your first house?
Oh, that's such a huge question.
And I know it's for a lot of people that are out there, they don't even like, just getting a house is kind of huge purchase in general. And I think at least for us, I'm assuming we both went through different formats or different processes. For me, I went through the VA, and that's something that I want to help a lot of veterans find out and know that it was fairly simple and easy to kind of go through that process and to get a house. But then I also know that people who haven't gone through it need to learn the FHA and the other side of it as well. And I know talking to my buddy at work, he didn't know what either of those terms were. So that's kind of the starting point as well. So it's kind of, people just don't know anything, and it's kind of, and I kind of had to dive headfirst into it. So I'll fall back to you. What do you wish you knew? One or two things that you wish you would have knew or known going into it?
Oh, I wish I would have started planning earlier. I think that's probably the biggest thing, because we bought our house, we were 5 years ago now, so that puts us at 34, 35 when we bought, but we had rented for a long time, and in that time, kind of our credit went like every which direction, and so like we needed to spend 6 months before we could even think about buying a house, fixing all of our credit and going through different things to make us able to even get a loan to qualify. And this is post 2008, when before everybody could get a house for no reason whatsoever. So we had to put in the work, save money, put it away, pay off credit cards. I think we borrowed quite a lot from parents. We were fortunate to have some help from them to get things done, and then kind of along with that, just kind of the sheer responsibility it is to have a house, and all the paperwork that goes along with it when you're signing up, and like the extra money. Like there's just so many little things that you don't know about it. You want to have a good neighborhood. I think school district is probably like, find one where you want your kids to go to school, even if it's not your starter home, or if it's just a starter home. I think that would probably be the biggest thing. Find a place where you're going to want to at least start planting roots. So before you move out and go somewhere else to your forever home, you at least are in a good place. Find neighbors that are nice. There's so many just little things that, like, those are the reasons why we stay where we are right now. But like just that first thought, like, hey, we're gonna buy a house. All right, what do we got to do? Fix your credit, make sure everything's ready to go. And then once you get approved for that, it's just like throw offers in and hope something sticks. And we were fortunate enough. My friends like, you just got to throw an offer in. So we offered this house. It was the first house we put an offer in on. We got accepted, which does not happen at all. But it worked out. We got really lucky. It was the perfect house. We put an offer down before I even had a chance to see it. Bree got to look at it, and she's like, yes. I said, all right, just tell them to go for it. like we're gonna get it. Like, no way. We got to start somewhere. Get that rejection going first, and we didn't get rejected, so we're like, we go, oh crap, what did we do?
Yeah, we were very similar. Like it was, but granted, and I think I couldn't have imagined better timing, because with us, I started looking, I think November of 2019, and then pandemic hit, and I had already, I think we had picked out a house by like the beginning of February, and it was the same thing. Like we had, I looked at probably 3 or 4, and then when we came and saw this one together, we both kind of were like, yep, this one fits all the boxes that we wanted to. And luckily enough, like the person selling was a realtor, so at least it made things a lot easier rather than having to deal with somebody who didn't know what was going on. So I was able to, I threw in an offer, but it was a conservative offer, and he took it. So, and it kind of worked out. And yeah, the pandemic hit, and now we've refied since. So the property, it's gone up like considerably. So yeah, it kind of worked out timing wise just right for us. But
awesome.
At least for us, like to start off, yeah, I did a lot of research. It was one of those, I was looking up everything and realizing, do I need to have a bunch of money up front? For me, if for a veteran, it was like, okay, what process and who do I need to get approval through, and kind of what do I get approved for? Lucky for me, I had a really good realtor and a financial, like your loan representative. So those, and then a lawyer. So that's you're typically gonna have those 3 things, those 3 people working in concert with you and the seller. So with that was kind of trying to figure out and make sure everything worked properly. But
yeah,
thankfully my team, like, we really worked well together and got it done really fast. And I think we were in the house by April 27th. So it was nice to go from an apartment complex at the start of COVID and be out within a month. Like that was just.
Have you did you and Kara live together beforehand?
Before the house?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we had the 1-bedroom apartment, and then when we found out that she was pregnant, we got 2-bedroom, and then from that we decided to get a house.
Yeah. Have you realized, like, you go from a small apartment into a house and you still have shit everywhere? like you go from small to big, and then all of a sudden you still have, like, you just accumulate more stuff, and it's still just a hot mess. That's
kind of what started all of this last year. I was like, I'm going to start selling stuff on eBay, because I just have random junk everywhere, and I need to, like, I just had books and stuff. I'm like, these are just sitting here not doing anything. Like, I need to do something with them. And luckily, I think I got on a hot streak. I think I sold like 3 or 4 books, some rolls of tape that I had been sitting out there. And then I was like, oh, hey, this is actually making some money. Let me see what else I can do. And then bada bing, bada boom, here we are talking and hopefully turning this into something. So
talking over the internet.
Yeah, the interwebs. But yeah, we will deep dive into a lot of different stuff like this. And granted, this wasn't super informative, but I think knowing that we kind of have an experience. If you guys have questions, reach out to us. If there's through the podcast, you can leave voicemails. And so check all the podcast descriptions for stuff to leave us a message and let us know what questions you have that we can talk about, because we want to help. He is a teacher, so we want to help educate you and inform everyone in the best way that we can, and try to do it in a way that's not just one-sided. We will look at it from many different angles and try to poke holes into a lot of different things, just to kind of make sure that you know the whole thing. On that topic, my very last thing, and I will keep this short since we have the rest. I bought my 3rd NFT today.
That's right.
Through the Vivi app, and it was I'm going to get it wrong, the Dark Hawk issue 1, the digital copy. And so, I was $7, and like it spun around, and by the time it posted in the marketplace, like everything is gone for $20. So it's a really cool turnaround. The only thing though, so anybody that is looking into it, and I was telling my buddy at work that you cannot withdraw your money out of your account. So it is the only like NFT space that I'm aware of where you have to put funds into it, but for the time being, you cannot withdraw the funds.
Oh no.
So that's crazy. And so, and the problem with a lot of these too, if you want to get like through the primary market, you have to get the drop. And yesterday's Spider-Man #3, I did not get because there's only 30,000 of these copies available, and there's probably like 2 million people going onto this app.
Yep.
So today I got lucky by doing my little practice, like speed taps, and it worked out. But like there's guys that were on there that I was reading who've put $500 into it, can't get a drop. And if you're going to buy off the secondary market that's there, everything would be 3 times the price, but then you can't pull your money out, so they're stuck. So be warned, research everything that you're doing. Make sure that you don't just throw money at stuff. I've seen people thinking they were minting NFTs from the original website and they were not, and getting ripped off. So please, 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 one, we are not financial advisors. Do not take any of our advice for facts. We are just telling you our experiences, and anything that we are doing is for either fun or for our own purposes. So that's just a disclaimer that we have to put in.
That's a good disclaimer, because
so
someone's going to take that and be like, I'm going to go get an NFT from this VV app because Ronnie said so, and they're going to just be pissed.
So what I tell everybody is do your research. Do not buy anything that you do not understand. I think that's a
good basic thought.
Yeah. So if you do not understand NFTs, please do not buy any.
And also, if you don't have the funds to lose it, then don't use it.
Yes. That's the other thing. If you save that, write that down.
Put that on a shirt.
Yes. You better be paying your rent, your car payment, your food, your child support, all of that stuff first. This should be money that you can throw away, and if it's gone tomorrow, it's okay. You're not hurting anybody or yourself. Please, please, please.
Right on.
And that brings us to our most anticipated, which will be our most popular and our personal favorite segment, Dad's Story of the Week.
Let's go.
So, again, I will leave it to you, Zach. What have Logan and Wilder done this week to either make you think, smile, cry, or try to run away?
It's all of the above. It happens so often. It's just one of those things, like when you're going to be home, like let's say the days are long, but the years are short, and they go by quickly. And so, like, my daughter's 5 already, and she's spitfire. She's starting to find her personality, and her little sense of humor is coming out. And so she learned a new joke this week that I want to share with you, because it is 5-year-old humor at its finest. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm sitting down.
That's good. So it's why did the farmer cross the field?
I don't know.
To get to the other side. To poop. That's the joke.
It's good enough for me.
It's got 2 punchlines. And so this kid is,
one of them's funny.
Yeah, and the second one's unexpected. You're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I wasn't ready for that, but I can see him doing that.
So it's good. That's she's found her sense of humor, and so she wants to tell jokes, and then she will beat that joke to death until it is not funny anymore. And then why aren't you laughing? I said, well, you said the joke 400 times in the last hour.
You've beaten this one to death.
So then she'll change it up. Why did the chicken cross the field? And same punchline, to get to the other side, to poop. And so I taught her the timing of it. Like, cause she was like, farm across the field to get to the other side to poop. Like, no, you got to give it a beat. Like, give it like 3 seconds to let it sink in. So when she started telling us, she told Bree, and she's like, to get to the other side, 1, 2, 3.
In your
so,
head. Do that
so,
in your head.
so we're working on the counting in your head. What about you? What's up with J Dog?
Yeah, Jackson, he's been kind of doing similar stuff. His new favorite word is but. So whenever we do the bedtime story, and I almost know, like, how does the dinosaur go to sleep? Like, whether it's dark and deep and but, like, and he'll just start throwing it in at the end of every line. But our new favorite thing, and he's been doing, I don't know where it came from, unless he's watching like Dragon Ball Z or the Matrix or something. But so he's been giving out, like, all of a sudden we'll be sitting at the kitchen table and we'll see him go. And he's like shaking his hands as if he's holding like an orb of energy, and just like, oh, and we all of a sudden stop. We're like, oh no, he's got energy. And before, like when it first started, I would let him shoot it at me, and he would be like holding it and he'd shoot it, and I'd fly across the room, just like when you hit me across the face with the tennis racket at the homecoming pet fest, and flew across the floor.
Oh yes, that's we call that foreshadowing, folks.
Yeah. And so
oh, that was so good. So good, because they got the picture of it in the yearbook.
Yeah, we did.
Oh man,
that'll be in next week or in 2 weeks episodes. But yeah, so he's been going around giving us energy hugs and kisses, where he'll ramp up and go, and then like comes in and gives us a hug, which has been one of the fun things that we get during the week. Do we get an energy hug and kiss? Yeah. So he'll run over and give us those.
That's great.
And that's Dad's story of the week.
Love it. I like that one. That makes me smile.
All right. Now this last one, and I, even up to this point, still don't have one in my head yet.
Oh, I got it. I'm ready.
Okay, good. You go first, and then I will try to come up with something.
This is the question of insignificance, the blind question. You don't know what I'm asking you, and it can range from anything. Like, this is that what are we going to do? Like,
yeah, we got to end the show with a bang. So
where are we gonna go? So it's like a half softball, but there's some thought behind it. So background information: the NCAA passed the name, image, and likeness rule this last year. So we have college athletes receiving money for performing sports. Not yet professionals yet, by the way. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell where I lie on this one with it, but my biggest one is BYU, the BYU football team. They have, we'll roughly guesstimate 130 athletes on the team for some reason or another, just random number. But NCAA only allows 85 students to be on scholarship. So BYU partnered up with an energy bar brand to provide NIL contracts for all of the members of the football team, all 100 and whatever members. Different amounts. So those students on scholarship would receive $1,000 the semester for their name, image, and likeness. But those that weren't on scholarship would receive between $3,000 and $6,000, which would cover their tuition for the year, for that semester, and then again for the second semester. And so I guess my question is, what's stopping big schools from this little loophole around getting kids into their school with the 80, like they only have so many scholarships to give, but hey, we can get you this sweet deal where you still don't have to pay to go to school. Like, what's going to be the thing that's going to prevent Alabama from getting another blue chip recruit in every position and then 7 deep like they already do? Like, what's going to stop that? So I guess that's my question. Like,
nothing.
Nothing.
It's going to be allegiance to that school. Like, however good the recruiting is going to be, it's everybody has the advantage now. Like, Georgia can do that. Texas can do that. USC can do that. That's why I think you're seeing Brian Kelly move to LSU and Lincoln Riley go to USC, because those schools are probably in a lot better spots to pull in recruits, because they know that now the money game is on even playing field. Like, it doesn't matter if it's UMD Duluth, if Zuckerberg wants to sponsor the Bulldogs, like, for them to go pro, like, then that's going to happen. So it's just a matter of whatever boosters are there, and if that kid's willing to ride the pine at Alabama, because that's the other thing too. Do you want to take a scholarship or a paid scholarship to ride the bench? If a guy doesn't want to play, then that's fine. If that's what's best for him, then so be it. But I think, like you're seeing with the transfer portal, with was it Spencer Rattler leaving Oklahoma because of Caleb Williams being really good, you're going to see guys who just want to shine and find a spot, and they're going to go wherever there's a spot available. So essentially, Alabama probably has been doing stuff like this forever. It's just a matter of, if, like I said, if somebody wants to, if you want to put your time in, but then look at the running backs and the wide receivers, like, those guys did put the time in, and they get 1 year to shine, and then they're in the pros. So it's kind of, if you're going to put the work in, then okay, you do it right on Saturday, okay, then good on you. But I think it's just going to be a matter of the schools and the conferences are going to bend to whatever the student athlete wants to do, and wherever they want to go. If they're not playing, they're going to leave. And I think that's going to be okay. I think they'll be not as, I think the parity will kind of be, it's not going to be the same. It'll be skewed because the SEC is going to get stronger. Like Big Ten and those ones will still be second tier. But I still think that athletes will go where they want to play. That's essentially going to be. And they're going to know, hey, I can stay closer to home, and I can kind of get half Alabama money by staying at UT Chattanooga. And I got a booster who's going to take care of my family. Then I don't need a low, and I'm still close to home. So
I think you brought up a good point, though, that I hadn't thought about, is the coaches. Like, you can, like, when you basically don't have a cap on how to recruit and where to go, why would you spend your time in the middle flyover state Oklahoma when you can go to USC? You can go
Notre Dame, who has rules and requirements and education requirements for players. So
so
you want
the coach.
Yeah, and he's older, and Lincoln Riley, to me, that makes sense. It's LA. It's kind of, he wants to do his Cliff Kingsbury, Sean McVay kind of like star out west in the desert kind of deal. And Brian Kelly, I think he wants one last shot at getting the title. So, and to me, LSU is a great spot for him. Granted, I got a feeling that it's going to be up and down the SEC. Each, like, aside from Alabama kind of being steady, I think all those other teams are going to rise and fall every year. So it'll be curious to see kind of how that plays out. So
for sure,
that's my
question. Thanks for shining some light on that.
Yeah, mine's much easier than I came to. Where did you have more fun playing basketball? In the Fridley back gym or at Gordy's church?
Oh man. You have to have, did Gordy's church have carpet floors?
Not where we played.
Oh no, because it was just dark and dingy.
It was like that cafeteria floor.
Yep. I'd have to say the back gym. There's just a lot more memories there, and you could use the walls to jump off of to dunk.
Well, yeah, you could do that at Gordy's church too.
But
because they had the side hoops.
But the church, you couldn't bring out the the gymnastics launch pad to do it on the main hoop, which is a death trap waiting to happen. But yeah, so I'd have to say back gym, as janky as it was, they updated it now, so that's good.
All right, we'll save some of that. That's episode 3 where we talk about the back gym.
Just getting up there,
play in front of KG and everybody else. So yeah,
those are the good old days.
Oh yeah,
right on, man.
Well, this was great. I want to thank you, Zach. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Wilder and Logan. If you can hear me, if you're out there.
She's asleep. right now. Better be.
And
On.
hopefully you guys enjoyed this time, and we will see you guys again soon.
Right on.
For Zach, I'm Ronnie. Not that you care, but we'll see you next time.
See you. Hooray.
All right, so I got to turn this down.
Mute. There we go. All right. Okay. Thanks.
Well,
It says, nice job.
Yeah,
You
turn down
sounded
your other
great.
volume.
on my phone.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg. Reading my
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Okay.
iPhone.
I'll just leave
Steve
that right here.
Jobs.
You should be able to hear me just fine.
I'm muted. Are you muted? You're muted on your phone on here, so I can't hear you.
Are you
at all.
listening through the phone or through the computer?
There we go.
All right.